This is more being suspended in time and your life just doesn't progress because you are fixated on this Layla. Hi everyone! Today it's my time to listen to the weekly poll winner. And this time it is Derek and the Dominos with a song called Layla from 1970. Well, this was a clear winner. Sometimes it's kind of tight and there are several competing songs that all have good support in the community. Other times it's a tie. We've had to flip a coin once or twice. But this time, this one clearly came out on top. So I'm excited to see what you all have chosen for me. I have never heard the name of this band before, but I understand that it includes Eric Clapton, whom I am somewhat familiar with. Layla is a song written by Eric Clapton and Jim Gordon, originally recorded with their band Derek and the Dominos. Its contrasting movements were composed separately by Clapton and Gordon. That's interesting. Sort of team effort. The piano part has also been controversially credited to Rita Coolidge, Gordon's girlfriend at the time. Okay. The song was inspired by a love story that originated in 7th century Persian literature and later formed the basis of the poem The Story of Layla and Majnun by the 12th century Persian author Nizami Ganjavi, a copy of which Ian Dallas had given to Clapton. I can't say I've read that story. The book moved Clapton profoundly because it was the tale of a young man who fell hopelessly in love with a beautiful young girl, went crazy, and so could not marry her. Tragic. The song was further inspired by Clapton's secret love for Pattie Boyd, the wife of his friend and fellow musician George Harrison. After Harrison and Boyd divorced, Clapton and Boyd eventually married. In 2004, Layla was ranked number 27 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time, and the acoustic version won the 1993 Grammy Award for Best Rock Song. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of emotional, passionate backstory to this, and a collaborative effort to create it. Let's see how it sounds. Got a little da-da-da-da-da-da. Has a little bit of a okay. It's interesting. There is this kind of, the way it sounds, it almost sounds like I'm in a big echoing gym or something like that, where the sound is not really, well, how should I say? Well, look at the shape of the sound graphic down here. It's pretty loud and it's pretty constant. And there is this kind of, I'm almost just tempted to say, the metallic roar. But at the same time, as I'm listening, I'm hearing all these details of stuff happening. Like, for example, right here, listen to that guitar running down. Tried to give you consolation when you're a man who let you down. Like a fool, fell in love with you. intricate stuff happening. And I'm tempted to say, well, let me back up to the beginning. I was trying to say something there, but then I decided to be quiet and listen for a moment. That opening motif sounds like it's intentionally trying to evoke a sort of Persian or Eastern kind of musical sound. Listen to it again. There's something about it that sounds like it's intended to conjure images of exotic times and places from far away, kind of a storybook quality. And then we get into all this activity that's constant. But as I'm listening and hearing all these details which are in that wide stripe of sound, I start thinking of maybe a Persian rug, meaning something that has overall pretty large and straight dimensions around the edge. But when you look at the detail and you start noticing the beautiful patterns and intricacies of this tapestry, this Persian rug, somehow that's the way the music sounds to me as I'm listening to it here for the first time. And here, it's hard to tell which one is guitar and which one is the voice. They blend so well. All the different guitars, drums, bass. Drums. And that guitar singing on top. There's this sort of nervous, maybe the bass and the guitar on top. There's a lot happening. And it's squealing up on top. It's wild. Woo! There's so much that it makes me think of. Like, okay, there's a sort of insanity to it. Like, there are parts of it that I think, it's bordering on a sort of schizophrenia. Other parts sound like, or other moments, I think it sounds like some dance, again, with elaborately embroidered outfits, and you see all the colors swirling and twirling together. Other times it feels frantic, like desperate, like there's a sense of urgency and impossibility. And it's doing such a great job of capturing perhaps the essence of the story, as I read in the introduction. This desperate love, so desperate that you end up going insane, which makes the situation even more desperate because now you're in no condition to marry her. And of course, the love for his friend's wife, that's kind of a complicated situation too. All of this, it seems like it's doing a great job capturing musically the emotions and the experience, the impressions of that kind of complex and tragic story. Part of it is the tempo. It's a pretty quick tempo, and the percussion also. Now okay, there's a bit of piano here. Things are warming up and opening a bit. Maybe getting a bit more romantic. Ooh, there's some dissonance. You can do the bass in there still. The guitar. Very lyrical, very melodic. It's as if the piano and the guitar are duetting together. You can feel it growing, swelling. There are a lot of guitar parts in here. At least that's the impression I get. The cymbals. So one of the things that I'm noticing, I was debating, should I pause it there or not? But I'm going to pause it because I want to express what I'm thinking. One of the things I'm noticing in this is that, as I said, it feels like there's a lot of guitar. And then I thought, well, is that fair to say? Because then I think of something like Queen, where it's layers and layers and layers of guitar, the guitar chorus. But this is different than a guitar chorus. It feels like a guitar ensemble, where, I don't know, you have maybe 5 different guitars. There's one that's doing more finger-picking style. There are several singing in a very violin-like manner. There is the bass, which is also behaving quite melodically as well. And there's the duetting between the piano and one or another of the guitars. I'm not sure exactly how many guitars there are. Maybe just 2, maybe more. Maybe it's been recorded over, overdubbed enough that you have more than just the basic parts, but the experience, the impression, the way I feel it is something of, let's say, 5 guitars. And they are each singing their own part and each contributing their own voice to the mix. That is not the only thing. I mentioned the finger picking style, or kind of strummed, which binds the guitars more closely to the piano, because piano, harp, plucked guitar, they all have this rapid decay, and so you get this burst of sound, this moment of full sound that diminishes rapidly. And it feels like there is a kind of material transition and grading across the entire musical soundscape. We have the drums, also a non-sustained instrument. We have the plucked or strummed guitar. We have the piano. And then the guitars are acting as a kind of transition through the range all the way to that singing, very violin-like vocal guitar, which sits up in the high treble range. But there are other voices, other moments where guitar interjects different, more or less, texture across that range and it makes it feel like a very unified fabric of sound. And I think this is another thing that makes me think in terms of a woven piece of cloth or textile, like a Persian rug, where there is a consistency, a continuity, something that gets us from one side to the other evenly, smoothly, and yet within that, there is so much texture and color and variety. There may be some synth in here as well. I'm not sure. It's either guitar or synth. But all of this helps too. And that cymbal also helps to smooth over the entire surface. Bass give it a kind of warmth. That's where the heart is. Yeah. Notice here, the guitar seems to be singing Layla, Layla. Everything from the bass piano note way down here up to the little bird range at the top. A musically interesting way of expressing the feelings, the thoughts, the ideas, the experiences that inspired this song. And I found it interesting that the last, I guess, about half of it was all instrumental. And it leaves one free to just explore ideas of how does this continue the story. There were moments where I thought, this is the happily ever after. There were other moments where I thought, this is the unhappily ever after. The tragic ending where he never could marry the girl he loved. And the sort of resignation, or maybe not resignation, but the fact that life goes on and, tragedy happens, but the world continues moving. But then there are other moments where it, as I said, the bass and the piano, they're warm, they're full, they are the heart of the music in a way. And because they featured so warmly in that last half, I felt like, this is tending more towards a happily ever after, or at least the hope of a happily ever after. And you can feel how the music builds up and sort of surges towards a peak of a wave and then settles down again. And then the next wave comes, and the cymbals, with the brushy sound, they kind of bring in the next wave. And so it could be the waves of hopefulness that one experiences as they continue to be in love with this Layla, and hoping sometime, maybe it will all work out. And you heard in the lyrics too, right? Please don't say we'll never find a way, and tell me all my love's in vain. Please don't say we'll never find a way. And so this could be one's experience of looking for and hoping and finding those moments of, we haven't said never yet. Different ways of interpreting it, right? And as I said, the overall shape, architecture, structure, design, experience of the music is one of elaborateness, hints of that sort of story world, tapestry, embroidery, intricate designs, that opening motif, which was meant to evoke Persian world, all of these things that come into it, and yet at the same time, it's not too arbitrary. It's not too elementary, and so we can enjoy it with all its color and texture and elaborateness without feeling like the story is prepackaged and pre-made. So, thank you all for choosing this one, voting for it for me. I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm a bit curious about this Derek and the Dominos group. I might explore it more at some point in the future. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.